Hey YouTubers, just got this leather belt through the post which I was going to wear with an inexpensive kilt I got for Burns night, and although it wasn't pictured as such on the web listing, it's got this horrific 1970s sort of crocodile print on it, which, well, I'm not Peter Stringfellow or one of those characters, so I'm going to try and get rid of it by boiling it in a saucepan of water. I've seen other people on YouTube fiddling around with cocktail sticks and that sort of thing, but I'm rubbing alcohol and other things. But this is like a lot of area, and it was, I think, £7. So I'm just going to chuck it in a pan of hot water, see what happens. Obviously wash the pan very well afterwards, because I don't know what kind of chemicals they use on these things. But I might go and get an old saucepan out of the shed, I think. But it's a reasonable belt, it's a nice width for a kilt. It's pretty difficult to find a wide belt which isn't a weightlifting belt, so I thought I'd just try this. Anyway, let's have a go, see what happens. So I've got the belt in the saucepan, and when I put it in, loads of bubbles came out, which I thought was good. It means the water soaked into the leather, so that's a good thing. Now I'm just going to make it a bit of a boil, maybe for an hour or two. The pattern's still there, so we'll see what happens over the next 10 minutes or something. I'm just going to leave that on to simmer, probably forget about it and burn it to bits. Anyway, but we'll leave that there for 10 minutes, see what happens. That's interesting. There's some more bubbles coming out as it gets hotter. Strange. Was that just the water boiling? It's actually coming out of the leather, isn't it? So heat is has some kind of an effect on it. I've got all windows open because they use some quite nasty chemicals in tanning leather, so you probably don't want to breathe in the fumes. So I don't know what will be next on the list after doing this. Maybe a hammer or some sandpaper, I don't know. But I'm not going to spend too long on it because it was quite inexpensive, and I'm just not that. I'm up for trying something quick, but haven't really got time for anything else. So I've given that a boil for about 20 minutes, and now I've put it on this block. I'm giving it a hammer, and absolutely nothing's happening. That stuff is well in there. So I think the next thing I'm going to try after this is boiling it in some white vinegar, because I've really got it in for this belt now. But I'll give it a hammer all the way along first. And it's definitely sort of disguising it a bit. So what I've realised is that actually this concrete block which I'm hammering it on is far better at roughing up the leather than the hammer. So if I turn it over on the side that is against your body, the back of it, and hammer on the back down onto a rough surface, then that seems to be getting rid of it. So soaked it in hot water, gave it a boil for about 20 minutes in a saucepan, turned it over onto a knobbly concrete block, hammered it, and then rubbed this side onto the concrete block. Now I suppose you could use sandpaper, but basically I think really what you want to do is boil it to soften it, and then you can probably just scrape the top off somehow on a rough surface, or maybe one of those metal scouring pads would do it, or wire wool, or some coarse sandpaper, or a concrete block if you've got one lying around. That's fine really. I mean, you'd have to look at that quite carefully to see it's got a pattern, and in some cases you can hardly see it at all. And I'm going to go and put some, I'll wait for that to dry off a little, and then I'll rub some, paint some, I don't know, proof hide on it, which is like a leather treatment, or maybe some vegetable oil or something like that, because I'm pretty sure it will go a bit crusty when it dries out. But anyway, I'm really reasonably happy with that, and it does look very distressed, doesn't it? I mean, that's a completely different surface to what it was. It's not shiny anymore, so for sure it's not shiny, but I like it. I like stuff a bit scruffy. So there you go. Happy viewing.